Sadly, there have been over 41,000 deaths in the UK from COVID-19. Such a tragic loss of life in such challenging circumstances has left many feeling overwhelmed with grief. A local bereavement charity have seen a substantial rise in people accessing their services.
We've had a lot of young people coming forward, more than we had unfortunately. Obviously, due to COVID, people are facing deaths that they shouldn't have had to face. We're all kind of dealing with the shock of losing loved ones that are going before their time, and people that seemed relatively healthy and seemed to be doing okay, and now unfortunately are losing those people. So it's a massive shock for young people, and some of these young people have never experienced death before, and to lose somebody, one, from a pandemic that is such a shock, and two, having to deal with that grief in these circumstances is obviously very different to normal circumstances. It's very lonely and isolating, and they're having to try and deal with that as well, which is very difficult for anybody, let alone a young person who might not have people around them that they can get that support from.
And how has it altered that grieving process?
So I think, most of us are feeling quite lonely during the pandemic because we are being isolated from those people we love and care about. If you're dealing with grief on top of that, not being able to see those loved ones actually is really isolating for them. And you want those connections from people to help you process your grief. And not only that, with dealing with the fact that you might not be able to attend the funeral, or funerals are very different now to what they were if you do get to go, or not even being able to get to say goodbye to that loved one if they are in hospital or in a situation where you're not allowed to go and see them. Actually, you're not getting to deal with those processes of dealing with a death that most of us get to, and actually they are situations that we have to go through which help us bring some kind of closure.
Alex suffered a loss of her own 3 years ago when she was just 19. After feeling overwhelmed with grief, she decided to create a charity that could help others.
We are potentially expecting that once schools go back and maybe children and young people come forward and say to their teachers and those looking after their well-being that they have experienced a loss, that they'll get in touch with us as well. So we've been sending out information to schools around Norfolk so they are aware of our service as well.
The charity is now working out ways in which they can help young people and their families in a new pre-pandemic normal. Rosemary Macklem, That's TV.